The real estate skills for future growth. Why do some agents know the contracts, the rules, what's right and wrong, but they still fail at that long-term success?
Welcome to the Open Books Podcast, where we discuss all things real estate, helping you take the road less traveled to real estate success. I am sitting alongside the wonderful co-hosts of Brooke Massey and Casey Tuter. And my name is Curtis Haddock. Please like, subscribe, follow, share, watch it again, like it again, share it again.
Don't like it again, because then you unlike it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've done that.
I've done that too. Yeah, don't like it again.
And
Watch it again.
Do you guys apologize when
Share
you
it
do
again.
that?
Do we apologize?
I'll unlike something, I'm like, to the phone, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, and I'll re-like it.
Oh, I'm like, hope they don't notice. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I promise it's fine. I
Yeah.
liked it.
Whoops.
You know? Yeah.
Oh, they're going to hate me now.
No, I don't think that there's actually notifications that go out when you unlike something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
At least I've never got one, which maybe that means no one ever unlikes my stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I did delete one of my YouTube channels, and I didn't realize it. I deleted all of them. And so it took my comments and my likes down on our own channel.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Well,
it
good
did.
thing the
And
channel wasn't on your ding.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, I could have swore, because I had like 3, and I could have swore I was just deleting one, and it deleted all of them.
That's crazy.
I didn't really have anything on them, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah. Anyways, I'm going to answer your question.
Answer it.
You know why people can't succeed long term in this business?
Why is that,
Because they
Casey?
don't think about this business as long term.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's pretty simple, really. So most people are just, and you know, none of us are perfect, and so I'm always trying to analyze.
Whoa.
So, okay,
Hey,
hold
speak
on.
for
Curtis
yourself,
is perfect,
bro.
The rest of us, we always like. For me, I always have to reflect and look back on things, and some things that I've learned that it's like, duh, I should have done. You know, for the long term was the weekly email
Yeah.
that I'm always talking about that Ricky Caruth taught me, and then just following up with your network. I mean, that weekly email does that too, but like following up like intentfully with your past clients, even if it's just like engaging with them and their family on their sports or on Facebook, or sending them gifts periodically.
They got a new puppy.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. That's the long game. Most agents are looking for the sale today, close it as fast as possible, and then find the next deal. And you make good money that way.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
You burn out. That's why people burn out. You know, I don't think people would burn out as much if the deals just kept coming, and they didn't have to do anything for them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So something I do.
Still burn out, probably.
But not as it would be.
Yeah.
It would not be near as much. Sure, people would there'd still be some burnout, like
For sure.
But actually, because the reason why I think you say that, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're saying that is because of the emotions that are tied to doing transactions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but imagine if
Yeah.
Okay. So then, but do those same emotions exist when it's a referral source that gets sent to you, or like someone that it's sometimes, but it's not near as much.
There's a whole level of complication that isn't there whenever someone is referred to you. It's because they call you, and they
Right.
typically immediately trust you, and you can get them to the closing table faster and easier.
Yeah.
And if you're if you're forcing someone to trust you every time you pick up the phone, it's a good way to get good at it. But I mean, yeah.
But when somebody like trusts you, like from the immediate like hello, you know, it's a totally different experience in my experience, anyways. And that doesn't mean that things don't go wrong.
Sure.
But man, like when especially when you have people that just like listen and do what you suggest doing, you know, and they just kind of let it like happen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
man, and that happens way more frequently when comes from when somebody referred you from someone they trust.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that part.
So
That's why it depends
it's-
who refers you.
It's just way less like drama and like negative emotions. There's always gonna be emotions tied to it, but it's not as dramatic when it's a referral source.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think if every single deal that we got was from a referral source, there'd be way less burnout. But people don't do what it takes to
get to that point.
To get to that point.
Or they'll burn out before they get there.
Yeah.
And people don't get it because, like, you start, but then eventually you do get there. Like, you don't have to cold call as much. I mean, there's still an aspect where you're going to have to cold call somebody.
It just depends how you want to run your business. But
yeah.
I mean, there's guys that call 50 people a day. I was listening to that guy when you came in, and he starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, calls till 11 every day.
Ugh.
And I'm like, now what he did say, and I told people this, I've told people this for years. It's like, you know, when you're in real estate, you can make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what doctors and attorneys make. But what do doctors and attorneys have to do that you didn't?
Go to school for 900 years and study your butt off for 8,000 years. Yeah.
And so you look at it like when you first get into real estate, like who are you to think that you can just all of a sudden start making that money?
Yep.
And so it's like use that 7 years or that 8 years of what they would have been in school to take yourself to school.
That's a good analogy.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, and cold call and learn and build your scripts. And I mean, a heart surgeon didn't learn how to operate successfully on the first heart.
No.
And he sure as heck didn't give up.
And they didn't get the salary while they were in school.
Right. They make like $60,000 or something crazy. Yeah. Just something crazy to literally be saving people's lives. But it's because they're in it for the long term. Mm-hmm. And they understand that. And of course, when you owe, hundreds of thousands of dollars for school, then you're probably, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's why people don't invest in themselves, because it's like if someone gives you a free concert ticket that night, you go, babe, do we really want to go to this? Not really. Trash the tickets. But if you pay $300 for them, you're going.
Yeah.
So maybe that's got a lot to do with it. Buy an investment.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are influencers that do talk about that. Like, why, if you give away free content versus make people pay for it, there's this perceived value when they pay for it. And so I think there's something to that psychology. And so let's get into then, okay, how can agents develop the skills that they need to over their first 5 to 7, 8 years to work up to being a referral based agent only, right? And the first skill set is listening is one of the most underrated sales skills out there. And I think that people know that they're supposed to listen, but I think it's difficult because you have to, like, if you're in sales, you're supposed to fill the silence with some kind of sales tactic or explaining the product or
asking them a question.
Yeah, asking them a question. I'm supposed to break down their walls. I'm supposed to keep this conversation going somehow, some way. So we can't have silence. And so then you're always filling the silence with words.
Mm-hmm. And I think, so listening is obviously a lot. Well, and that gives you an edge if you can do it. And actually, I say it's easier. It's not easier for people to listen because people always already have the next thing in their head that they're going to say when you maybe finish talking. But something I learned from one of my barber clients was she would come in and I would be doing her hair, and I would ask her like how she's doing, and then she would say, "Oh man, we're doing great. Like, how are you doing? How is this going? And how's your music going?" And then she just started asking me a bunch of questions. Well, I loved her.
Oh, right.
Because she let me
so
talk about myself.
Yeah.
But it was she gave me permission to talk about myself. It wasn't just me talking about myself.
Yeah.
And so like I hear this all the time with people that are going dates. Oh, they just talked about themselves the whole time. It's like, well, they're trying to impress you.
Yes.
But little did they know, all they need to do is try to get to know you by asking questions, and you'd have fell in love with them.
Yeah. There's been plenty of times I've left the hair chair, and then I'm like, man, I really just talked about myself the whole time, and I like feel bad, but she did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And I fell for it, and I was in it, and I was just talking all about myself that whole time.
But this is a good lesson in when someone's new and they're like, I don't know what to say. It's like,
don't say anything.
Questions.
Get to know them.
Yeah.
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 And it's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm this data scientist, consultation for bioengineered, and you're like,
What?
And most people go, oh, that's cool.
No, I'm like, you do what?
I'll go, I have no idea what that means. Can you speak to me like I'm a fifth grader? Like explain to me what it is you do. That sounds curious.
You wouldn't know what that was?
Yeah, well, I do know what a data scientist is.
Now you do.
Yeah, but you just ask more questions.
If you want, there's like a saying out there, like if you want to be interesting, be interested in other people.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, and it just goes along.
Well, in our training, we tell people to just try to mirror the questions too. Like if somebody asks you a question, like if you're sitting in the chair and getting your hair done, and they're asking you questions, like ask the same question back. You know,
keep it simple.
Yeah. I don't like talking so much when I'm getting my hair cut because I like to enjoy it. And so I try to do the question asking so that they're talking to me so I can just sit there and enjoy my haircut.
And not listen to them?
No, I'll listen.
I'll
listen, but it's just...
I feel like that would feel good. And your haircut's like what, 10, 15 minutes long?
Oh no, they're an hour, but I do like a whole like thing.
Do you move a lot when you're talking?
I try not to,
because that's really annoying.
Oh yeah, I do.
Well, but also if I think about that, like sometimes my barber will ask me a question, like, and he's like doing a shave or something, and he's like at a really like delicate area.
You're like, I can't say that right.
Why would you ask me that right now?
They always do that. I was at the chiropractor yesterday, and she's talking to me, and I'm like trying not to breathe so she can pop my back, and then I'm like, stop doing that.
You're like, oh yeah,
Well, you're just wanting me to like scream.
I would like be cutting someone's hair, and I'd be using the clippers or whatever, and I'd like say something, and they'd be like, huh? And it's like, dude, there's a mirror right there. Like, you don't have to turn around and look at me.
Yeah, just look at you.
Anyway, we go on and on about that stuff.
Crazy. That's interesting how people think. It's so interesting. But
really,
I'll like just grab their head and hold on to it.
Well, it goes to show how different people are. And so like, when you're listening, like, getting to know people, you're really going to have to get to know them because everyone is we're so like, I think as human beings, we're very like-minded creatures, but we're so different too.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Well, if you're like at just any appointment, like a FSBO, Expire, even an open house, and you're trying to do this listening tactic, but you come across somebody that is just super quiet and like they just give you one word answers, how do you guys respond to that? How do you handle it?
Just try to keep poking until they open up, and they may not.
Yeah. And then you just
bye.
Yeah,
I just say
I think specifically like open houses for me.
That's the hardest.
I'm like I just like that's why I always say I love open houses because if you have 10 people through your open house, it's a good open house, but you're going to have people like that. I just kind of let them go.
Yes, I let them go, and I'll try to re-engage, but for the most part, I'm looking for the people who want to chat with me.
Yeah, same.
And it just needs to be the husband or the wife or whoever. It just one of the people need to engage with me. And but what I was going to say too, what I see agents doing all the time about listening is, and I'm not going to say the person's name, but this person is a perfect example of every time the client says something, he ignores what they said and moves on to the next objection.
I know who you're talking
rebuttal.
about.
And it's like, dude, they basically just told you to come over.
Well,
and you're asking them if it makes sense to set something up. They're like, they said yes, and then you're like, well, should I circle back around in a month? And it's like, no,
go tomorrow.
They said come over.
I know who you're talking about.
I know you do.
And also, but he also does it when they give him the answer to the next objection handler.
He goes ahead and asks
it. He goes ahead and still asks it, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, they already told you that this is how, they just told you this piece of information and you just went on with the next part of the script.
It's a problem. And that's just one example of, I think, that's a cold calling example, but I mean, it could just be like sitting down with someone at a listening table you've already got the deal with, and they're like ready to list, and you're not, they're like wanting to list that day, and then you're not hearing them.
And you kind of stop it from happening. But let me say this: the person that we're talking about still converts deals. So let's.
He does things he doesn't realize he's doing. That's good too.
Well, I would say I'm not even talking about like the good stuff. I'm saying that it goes to show back to the old adage saying, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. I truly believe that. But also, imagine how much more he could be doing if he was listening.
Uh-huh.
And this is why I think as agents, if you're out there as an independent agent and you're successful, those agents are the hardest to coach sometimes, because they, especially because they have success and they're like, I know what I'm doing, I know how to sell. They don't know how much they're leaving on the table because they won't adapt and take criticism and be coachable. We should all be coachable.
Well, you got to self-reflect. Like I probably do that too much, but it's just like, oh man,
Yeah.
how much money? I'm always thinking like, how much money am I leaving on the table?
It's crazy
You know?
how many people just aren't just self-aware in general, let alone when they get into this industry. Like, I think you have to take that level of self-awareness like to a whole new level, especially when you're doing. That's why I always tell my agents, if you're going to an appointment and you're new and you're new to doing this lead generation source, like, memorize everything. Like, there's like AI stuff you can go and record and have it attached to you, whatever. But like, call me afterwards. Tell me what you think was right, what was wrong. Let's see what kind of questions you asked and what they said and how you responded, because that shit goes a long way. You're either learning or you're making money. So just be as much self-aware as you can, but still also make sure you're listening to the other person. Realtors, I mean, you go into a room of realtors, and every time you talk to somebody, us three, we do it sometimes, and we're all trying to help somebody, but we're all like out talking each other, and that's just who we are by nature, you know. And it's like, again, being self-aware and taking that down a level so we can just listen to people.
Yeah, I mean, on that point, like when it comes to like training or educating people, like we definitely, like, as whatever you want to call yourself, a coach, mentor, whoever out there coaches and mentors, the best thing that you can do for your agents is just not give them the answer. Ask them questions so that they can come to figure out what the answer is, and it'll make that agent 10 times better, and it takes more time when you're doing it, but then it saves you time in the long term. But the next part was adapt. You were going to add to that?
Well,
quick?
I was just going to say, it's like, I remember my dad when I was 16 and I had a question about my insurance or something. And he said, well, you probably need to call your insurance agent. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. You do it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not my car. It's not my problem.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Damn.
So I'm like, hello. I'm like on hold. I'm like, this is lame, you know?
Yeah.
But
That's some good tough love right there.
yeah, well, and that's what he did with my car, like working on my car too. I was like, hey, Dad, my car won't start. And he was like, that's not really my problem.
Yeah. I mean,
And I was like, okay.
a little bit of trauma, but also helps you learn.
So I'd have to think about, you know, I mean, he'd help me, like, help me think about what could be wrong. And of course, he'd drive me to O'Reilly's and we'd get the part, and then he'd watch me try to put it on. You know, and it's like, that's exactly what we have to do with our agents, because if we don't, you raise these kids who end up these adults who, like, because I've got friends like this, it's like they can't do anything for themselves.
Oh.
And they can't handle themselves emotionally.
Yes.
And it's just because they're still children.
And they're like 35 to 45 years old.
Oh, I know someone that I play music with that's in their 50s that still acts like a toddler.
I mean, I talked about on the podcast not too long ago, I had a 43-year-old seller and I had to deal with her mommy. Whew.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's crazy. So,
Anyways.
but that puts you into adaptability, which is the next section, and you have to be able to adapt and learn and grow, or I mean, you just will not make it, or you'll just be stuck selling 6-7 houses a year. if you're
Never
lucky.
be the agent that says, I've been doing this for 20 years. And it's like those agents that say that every time, they stop growing. They stop learning.
I'll tell another agent that how long I've been doing it if they try to tell me how long they've been doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been doing this for 10 years and I've sold this many houses. I don't need you to tell me what to say to my clients.
I have.
You know, like, I'll get on them.
Oh, I don't
If
ever say that.
someone's pissed me off one time bad enough, I definitely told them who
I have enough
was,
experience.
but I don't do that very often.
Yeah.
I've never once said it just to be all high and mighty over here.
Oh, listen,
No, but,
it's not like,
no.
you know,
I
the
just think-
highlight of our moment, I'm sure.
Well,
but, you know,
it's-
sometimes I'm like, listen here.
But what I will do, I mean, people have definitely said it to me. The last person that said it to me, I called them out on it.
Yeah.
And I
This was just
said,
recent, wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
it's
I just
because it's
said-
condescending. They're doing it and they're being condescending, and
Yes.
they're not helping the situation.
Well, and they're trying to make it seem like I've always done it this way, and I've done it just fine. And that's the problem with real estate, is that sometimes things are done incorrectly and they still go through just fine. And so they never ran across the situation
Call that
where
common
where that was
practice.
a problem. Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's right.
And I told the person, I said, don't tell me how long you've been doing it. Show me. Like, you clearly don't understand the contract. And then he goes and said, well, I'm just looking out for the best interest of my client. And that's what I'm doing. And I go, well,
I hope you're
again,
not.
you clearly are not showing me how long you've been doing this, because no, you don't. You represent, and where we are transaction brokers only. There is no option to be a fiduciary. And so I said, no, you actually represent the best interest of the transaction. And so you saying that is actually in violation of our duties as agents in this state.
Well, and you're not representing your buyers anyways if you're behaving this way, because you're just pissing me off. And I'm going to go back to my sellers and be like, I think this is just done for. These people are impossible to deal with.
Well,
And then
Yeah.
my client might go, you know what? I think you're right. Let's go ahead and bust it and move on.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's the most misunderstood part of what we do here in our state, but the emotion aspect of it kills deals quickly. I mean,
Yeah.
just agent emotions will be probably is the number one deal killer when things could possibly be worked out anyways, you know. But you have to be able to adapt. And the way I was actually looking at this is, you know, as coaches, we need to make sure that we are adapting also, and not just expecting the people that we're teaching to adapt, because not just in the way you think, not to where we're just adapting to changes in technology and AI
you just
and
learn
all that stuff,
something
and we're
new.
learning new stuff, but we have to be able to adapt from person to person and how we are coaching them, because you'll come across somebody where, like, let's say that it's really easy for you with one person to ask them questions, and they're really getting it, and they're like, and they're thinking through your questions, and then you've really taught them to be independent and grow as an agent. But then you come across somebody, and you think, oh man, like, this is going to be like pulling teeth, asking them questions to get them to the answer. I need to just give them the answer because they're never going to get it, right? Well, you're doing that person a disservice. You have to be able to adapt to each situation for each agent that you're dealing with, because everyone has a different personality. Everyone has a different skill set when it comes to how they sell. Mm-hmm. And if you are a coach that thinks that you can just do a black and white blueprint on everybody, then you can't. Now, there are things that you can duplicate, but then you have to be able to adapt within that duplicatable process or system.
Right. Yeah. Well, something that you said is going to make me vent real quick. These agents that aren't willing to figure things out and put effort into it. This is something that also in barbering, I learned this. So
You cut hair?
I cut hair
Just
for
kidding.
14 years. So, what people don't understand, and I told my client this yesterday at that inspection I went to, and basically I would have hair clients who would not show up to their appointment and say, sorry, can you get me in tomorrow? Or they would no show you and they wouldn't pay you for it. They cancel last minute. They'd always be late. They're annoying as could be when they talk. And then they want special treatment. Sorry, man, I'm booked till next week. Can you come in on next Tuesday at 8? Or you have someone that comes in, they show up on time every time. If they do forget and miss, you get $50 in your Venmo, and then they say, get me in whenever you can. Sorry that I missed your appointment. Help, just as soon as you can, be great. Not about like, but my hair's long. It's like, yeah, because you missed your appointment.
Yeah.
So it's like, you tell people how to treat you.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what people don't understand about that, but it's gone on most people. And so I told my client yesterday, we were supposed to meet. Oh yeah, we were meeting the contractor there. It wasn't inspections today. Meeting the contractor. Well, guess what? He didn't show up. The contractor didn't. And so he's.
Is this a contractor that you picked or
No,
that
it was
they
the
client?
one they picked.
Okay.
So my contractor's coming today.
Yeah.
We better.
Yeah.
So basically he was just like, well, I just told him to forget it, you know? And I was like, hey man, I was like, just so you know, if I ever forget or whatever, I was like, just let me know. Cause like, I'm not perfect. And he goes, yeah, you told me that when I first met you. I'm like, yeah, I'm just letting you know. Cause if I get like 30 texts in like an hour, it's possible to miss something. And he goes, well, you've answered every time so far. And he's like, and that's why I'm using you, you know? And he's been easy to deal with. And I'm like, and that's why I'm here today, because you've been easy to work with. So yeah, if you need in, I'm gonna come let you in.
Yeah. You know, the analogy you gave with your hair clients. This is,
Are you thinking about how you behaved?
No. I was gonna make fun of you actually.
Oh, okay.
That exact analogy you gave on the very last podcast.
I did.
Yep, the exact same analogy.
Well, it means something then.
I know. It must to you. But you gave the exact. I was gonna be like, yeah, and then you know.
Well, I had a guy one time. He had some surgery and he was in a wheelchair, and he's like, hey man, he's like, if you can help me out, come to my house on. I had to do it on Sunday because I can't leave the shop, and he's like, I'll take care of you, man. He's like, I'll hook you up. He gave me like $5 extra. So I told myself, never again will I do that for someone unless I work it out up front. Like that's like a $50 extra thing.
You want to know my biggest deal that I could have possibly ever done in my career was a $16-17 million land deal. I found the land, brought it to the developer, and prime development area, right? And he had been wanting this land, and I just had a connection to the owners. Well, and you know this story, right? Where they end up going to auction.
The same story.
The owners took it to auction. I couldn't like register my buyer or anything. He ends up going to the auction. He ends up getting it for less than what our original letter of intent was. And the sellers, even with the sellers paying me my commission, they would have netted more than what they got at
Was
this
it
auction.
all to save a commission, basically?
I think so.
Dude.
Yeah, the auction company.
Well, they charge too.
They charge, but they sold them on that this was going to make them more money because they had multiple offers. Like mine was like, my guy was like the third. He was the best one, but it was the third one, and they thought, wow, there's this much people interested. Like, let's just auction it off. Let's just okay, if you want
Makes
let's like
sense.
everybody auction it off, right? And so that's what they did. And you want to know what happened when I got no commission. He got the deal for way less. Okay, he could have paid me my commission and still been less than what he was going to pay for it. But the guy that I brought it to paid me nothing. And guess how many deals I brought him since?
Zero.
Like I'm not gonna. Why would I even try to bring him another development deal? And I guarantee he made a ton of money on that deal. But
That's
it goes along that same point. But
that's the same.
We got to move on.
The same thing happened to me, and my seller gave up his mineral rights too for like a quarter of what, and we had multiple offers already too.
That's
so
crazy.
he got greedy, and he got took.
Well, I mean that's something you got to be aware of in this industry is people are going to protect the Benjamins.
They'll do anything to not pay a commission,
Well,
take less money
or to make money. Yeah,
Like,
right.
It makes no sense.
At the end of the day, people. That's what I have to keep telling myself. Most recently, is people are going to do what they think is best for them.
Yep.
And I have to be okay.
Survival
with that.
of the fittest, and everyone is selfish to an extent, even us. So
yeah.
But next point.
Professionalism is more than how you look. So we got to be professional.
Don't show up in a suit and tie to every appointment.
I was like, but you can. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
just
that-
I would
not to-
actually argue to say if you're new, you should dress up nicer than not because you have nothing else to offer at that point.
Yeah.
So come and at least look professional and fool them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
In the
sense.
I would
beginning
agree
until
with
you
that.
earn it.
Yep. That makes sense.
Until you know how to navigate this industry and the different types of clients and Yeah, I think you definitely need to dress up in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then some people, that is part of their identity, and that's what gives them their confidence. And then keep dressing up.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
So,
But don't fool yourself and think that's
What
that
you have to do.
You're a professional, but you're a professional because you are dressed nice.
yeah, to me, professionalism is being kind to people and being knowledgeable as well, but like not like telling them how things are, like all condescending, like, and telling them, oh, you're not going to get this for your house. Like, to me, that's not professional. Just that one example is like, instead of me telling them they're not going to get that for their house because I know better, it is, hey man, look at these comps with me, and like, let's go over this together. And then we break it down. And if he still wants to overprice it, then I literally did everything I could, but I'm not going to like insult him.
Yeah. Professionalism to me is serving people and looking out for going the extra mile to help the client, even if the client doesn't even know that you did it. So here's a great example. Yeah. We have an agent in one of our offices, I'm not going to say, and there's certain deals that they do where there is a lot of extra documentation and disclosures that are required. All right. Now, it is not a requirement to upload all of this information onto the MLS.
Okay.
For people. However, the people that do upload it, it makes the buyer's agent's job so much easier whenever they have a buyer that wants to make an offer, because now they can fully have the information, they can prepare the offer, they can show it to their buyer, and they can make an offer with confidence, as opposed to this agent's like, I'm just going to wait until we get a contract, and then we'll get all that together at that time. And I'm thinking, man, you represent the seller, and don't you think the seller wants to make it easier for the buyer? And so it's just, to me, it comes across as just lazy. You just don't want to do it because you don't have to do it. But if you were to upload those disclosures, then and I know there's probably a lot of people that in different areas that have disclosures that they don't upload, and they would argue against that. But you are going to make it so much easier when that buyer agent comes to write the offer for that buyer, to where you don't have to now waste everyone else's time. It's just it's a service that you're adding.
What you just said goes so far, because I have 2 listings that have solar panels that have to be assumed, and you would be surprised how many times I get a showing and people ask me dumb questions, because I have all the disclosures online. I have the electricity bills. I have how to get the assumption.
Yep.
I have in realtor remarks how much it is, what you need, how to communicate with Jennifer and I, what email to send it to. Everything's there. So when you go show the property, you're good. Probably 9 times out of 10,
they don't even look at this stuff.
They don't look at it.
Don't
and I get questions.
There.
I'm like, in my response, did you look at supplements and the realtor remarks?
Yeah.
It blows my mind. So just doing those simple things like that. And if you're on the opposite side, you're talking about the listing. If you're on the opposite side, that's the first thing I do. As soon as I walk in and I unlock that house, I'm pulling up all the supplements, all the disclosures. I'm reading realtor remarks, and that's what I'm communicating to my clients.
Yeah, what did the agent want me to know about this property?
Yes, and if there's something that's not there, before I go asking the other agent, I make sure I'm reading through everything, because that's like the whole point. Man, it drives me nuts, but gosh, like the people, like I wish I was the one showing my listing to that, because I'd be on point with all the information and what they needed.
You're going to sound like an expert on this stuff.
Exactly.
Because when they start asking solar panel questions, you're going to be, I don't deal with this very much. I don't know.
I'd say, don't do it. Let me take you to another listing.
No.
I would do the professional thing, and I would tell them the pros and the cons, and
here's
tell
what
them
you're
to do
going
their
to pay
own research.
with, and here's what you'll pay if you find a house without.
Yeah.
And here's, in fact, the solar panel house I just sold, people were turning, like they wanted the house so bad, but they just were afraid of solar panels.
Yes.
But it was going to be paid off. I'm thinking.
That's the biggest win right there.
Yeah. You just got a house with almost zero electrical bills And that's going to save you so much, especially at this price point of this house.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge deal for now. The only thing I could actually understand in that scenario is if you just can't get over the look.
Totally.
For whatever reason.
So-
and if that just bothers you in the look, then fine.
So my
Or
question
yeah.
would be, and I know the answer to this first one is, if you want to take them off after you purchase, or you sell and have to take them off, you have to get a new roof.
Yeah.
It's not cheap that you shouldn't take them off.
But you might have to if you have to sell, kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, you just don't. It's just another layer of complication. But there are some people that
we're
don't.
talking about they're already existing, and you're going
Right.
to
And
buy
they're
it.
paid
yeah,
off.
yeah.
I agree with you. Like, do not put them on.
There's just always questions. But the professional thing to do is to just talk to them about it, because I sold a house one time with solar panels on it, and the lady came from California. She's like, I'm glad they're on there because that was the first thing I was going to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Sold.
literally what we
I don't care. I'm not going to talk her out of it. She wanted it.
We finally got this under contract, and it's contingent, and they also have solar panels that they're assuming
my
that they
God.
have a buyer for. It actually might be a perfect storm, because all these people
Okay.
from out of state, and they love their solar panels, and they have the same solar panel loan as we do. So we're going to make this one go through.
I
Okay.
was just going to say the professional thing to do in all circumstances is to give options.
Yeah.
We also had an agent not with us anymore, not even in the industry anymore, but they always knew better, knew what was supposed to happen and when it was supposed to happen. And when they were talking to people, they would tell them what to do and say, no, you don't want to do that. This is what you got to do. This is how to do it. And I'm like, do you not understand that people have different priorities than what you have?
Yeah.
So tell them, here's your option A. Here's what can happen. Here's what, here's like you said, the pros and cons. Here's option B, and here's the pros and cons of this. What's best for you in your situation? Just I think people, I don't know why people struggle so much with like letting people decide for themselves.
I don't know it, because they'll even say something like, I'll say, okay, here's pros and cons of A, pros and cons of B, and they'll go, well, what would you do? I'm like, well, I wouldn't buy this house. And they're like, huh? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I've got different needs. Like, I need to be in Deer Creek schools, and I have to have a music studio. Like, this house wouldn't lend to that at all. So my opinion is honestly kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
But if you really want to know, I'd probably go with option A.
Yeah.
But I gave my little disclaimer. But communication and negotiation and being professional is about knowing your stuff, figuring your stuff out, spending time on it. Like right now, I'm learning about well water and depths and all that, because I have to explain to the other agent why we need a 6-week extension.
Well, and that's why people don't last long, because they won't actually go and learn that stuff. But we can combine the last two.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's like, you got to be resilient to last long term, and you got to have emotional intelligence. And I think that, having emotional intelligence will help you be resilient for long term as well. So let's talk
It's an everyday
a little bit about that. So we can wrap
struggle
it up.
and growth too. But
Those
again, you have to, I think what every agent has to do, and I struggle with this because I'm human, but instant gratification there's no such thing in real estate.
Oh gosh,
It is
no.
a long game through and through.
Unless you
And
just find some small
it's like, okay, so open houses. You're going to be doing those for 6 months before you really figure it out if you're brand new.
Oh, totally.
So if you say, I'm going to do open houses for 6 months and I don't make anything on it, I'm going to quit doing it. Well, then you're already done.
So I said, you're either learning or making money. You have to have that mindset. And
Yep.
if you're learning, you may accidentally make money doing those open houses for 6 months, like you're talking about.
Right. Well, it's crazy. I've actually been tracking this. Most of my open house buyers come much later. So the last 2 open house people that I closed, I met them like 4 or 5 months before.
Yeah.
And one guy, he never responded to my stuff, and I just kind of fell off. And then one day I just get a call, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm standing here with the rep at this builder,
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
yeah, and I want to use you."
Okay.
And he's
The
and I was
problem, though, why open houses don't work
right.
is because people expect it to convert that weekend.
Again, you have to get
It's-
this.
They don't have the resilience.
You got to follow up. You have to do it consistently. Every single money making activity that is taught in real estate still works to this day if you do it consistently and you follow up with people and you give it time. Right? It blows my mind. And then when I hear people that are selling like with like technology and AI, and have your AI do everything for you, and do these webinars online, and get in front of hundreds of buyers. Like, yeah, and I'm sure that those things have worked for people too, if you have the money to advertise, if you are consistent with it, if you follow up with people, right? Then yeah, it's going to work great. But that's how it all is, and you have to find the one that you're going to stick with, and that you're going to. And honestly, I don't think that, you know, maybe there's a money making activity that you guys like wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm going to crush these cold calls today, or I'm going to crush my open house this week. I can't wait till Sunday. Let's go. It's game day, baby.
Yeah,
normally I look at and I'm like, shit, I have 3 appointments today.
Oh man. It's like,
well, and it's like you have those appointments, so you also have all this other admin and like
dumb shit,
other stuff
emotions.
you have to do.
Yeah. But I mean, my point is that find the one that you're going to stick with. And I think another reason why people don't make it is because they figure out that every activity is difficult. Even one that comes natural to you and that you're good at.
That's because people are difficult.
It requires, well, not that, but I think people are, you know, like I think people have this expectation, like, because of society and how technology has created this instant gratification, right? I think people want things to happen instantly. And I think people want the American dream without having to earn it. They expect that it's supposed to happen to them. And I think everyone thinks that they all deserve it. Like, we're supposed to just wake up and the world is supposed to give us this life that we want. As opposed to having to go and earn it.
You're not guaranteed anything.
No.
You're not even guaranteed. You're not guaranteed health.
No.
And no one owes it to you. I mean, it's like, it's that's the instant gratification has to go.
The emotional intelligence, I think, is probably one of like the biggest things any agent should learn. That was probably, I've always had emotional intelligence, but Curtis, what you said about like telling people what to do, I did struggle with that, like as an agent, but I managed people, and that was my job.
I still struggle with
tell them what to do.
I still struggle with it.
You know, and I still do too, but I definitely had to. That's one big skill of just slowing down, listening to people, because sometimes what I think is a good idea to them, it just doesn't make sense on their situation. And we're never, ever going to be able to know every single person's situation. It is so hard unless you're truly just sitting there and listening.
To clients. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it with coaching agents. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I think it could go either way.
Sure.
You know, even with agents.
I struggle with it with agents. I struggle with just giving them the answer.
Yeah.
With clients, I'm really good at giving options, but yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even agents, they need options, because even at the end of the day, like, as long as they're talking to people and they feel good about it, that's what I tell agents. Like, you need to feel good, like we've been saying, about what you're doing. Like, if that's awkward, then find a way that makes it to where you don't feel awkward. That's what I've always said. Like,
you know how to do
that's
that?
why I make jokes all the time. If I say something weird, I'm like, at least I said it, but then I'm going to make myself feel better about it, because I'm just going to laugh and giggle, and then the other person's going to laugh. They don't even realize that I struggle with that, you know?
Yeah.
How do you not? What were you going to say, Casey?
Well,
how do you not make people? How do you?
If you're in real estate, you need to learn. You need to learn scripts. Like, you need to learn like what to say and how to say it and when to say it to people,
and objections,
and handle objections. And
I mean, there's
a
so
lot.
many
There's a
out
lot.
there.
There's a lot of stuff.
Don't plan out a conversation from the beginning to end, and don't think that like you have to know what to say every time when to say it. But the way you're going to be confident in knowing with whatever could be thrown at you is experience, is repetition, is getting out there and having more conversations,
and then thinking about those conversations.
Like, it's not, we don't just say go get 10 no's to be for fun, or like go fail a bunch of times for fun. Like, because what we're trying to say is if you can go get 10 no's, you just learned so much in those 10 no's.
What Casey was saying about open houses and doing them for 6 months, that's I got trained how to do open houses, but then I started doing them on my own. I put zero expectations on it. Yes, I wanted to get deals, but every time somebody came in, I was like, I'm going to do this. And then I'm like, well, that was stupid. I'm not going to do that again. And I just kept doing that over and over until, again, I got to the point. As long as I followed my training of what my coach and my mentor taught me at the time, but I'm still trying to like have different kind of conversations. That's the mindset that you have into it. So you just got to keep moving that needle.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot more we could talk about, especially with
That's okay. Just
the
come back
emotions.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be here.
We'll be here.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching and listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Tell us what your biggest takeaway from this episode was. And I'd love to hear what you have to say. Anyway, we're signing
Tell
off.
us about yourself.
Yeah.
That's our question.
Yeah. How are you?
We're listening.
That's right. I'm Casey Tuter. This is Haddock and Brooke
Massey.